I want to welcome you back to Thrive in the Word. Today we're starting a new book of the Bible. You know what? I just like new books of the Bible. In fact, I just love the Bible, period. We're looking at 3rd John. Now, 3rd John is a book that's not really taught out of very often. But 3rd John is a very, very important book because John is writing to a man. And we really, the background is not real great in 3rd John. John is writing, we need to understand that John has become the hub of all church activity, especially around Asia Minor and especially in the area of Ephesus. Now, this is just conjecture. This is just what people believe, but many people believe that John is living up in the mountains that were near the city of Ephesus, and that he's become a hub for all kinds of teachers that have come through, and they would come through and they would visit John, and then they would teach in the churches in the area. And so John has become almost the hub of Christianity, or especially in that part of the world. And so John is writing here a letter, and he's writing to a man by the name of Gaius. We don't know much about Gaius. It appears that Gaius is probably in some type of leadership position in a church. And so we don't know his age. We don't know how old he is or how he got saved or anything like that. At least to my knowledge, we don't. But John is writing to Gaius, and this is what he says. And let's just go ahead and start our look in the book of 3rd John. And he says, this letter is from John the elder. Now I'm reading out of the New Living Translation. Actually, the Greek text says this letter is from the elder. Now, why is that important? Well, we need to understand that John is writing from a position of elder. Now, there's two ways of looking at an elder as far as the times that John is living in. You can look at an elder as a person who's older. Now, John is probably in his 80s at this time. And so he could be writing from the position of just an older person. And we need to understand that in the Hebrew culture, age was not looked down on. Age was considered to be a place of wisdom. It was considered to be a very, very important part in their society. But on the other hand, we can look at it as this, because the Greek word that's translated as elder is also translated talking about a leader in the church. And so John is writing from this position that I am an elder. You see, John knew his position. He knew his place in God. And so he's writing from a position of oversight. He's writing from a position of wisdom. He's writing from a position of having experience. This is the very same John that walked with Jesus for 3 years. I mean, John is writing from a great deal of experience. And so that's the platform that John is addressing Gaius from. But then John goes on and he says, I am writing to Gaius, my dear friend. So we understand that John and Gaius have a close relationship. John didn't say, I'm writing to John, and I think I met him a few years ago. No, that's not what John's saying. He's saying, I'm writing to Gaius, and Gaius is my dear, dear friend. And then he says, whom I love in the truth. He said, I love this guy. I love him in the truth. I love him because we are in relationship, because we are both walking in the truth. And so John tells us right away that Gaius is not just an acquaintance of John. No, Gaius is a person who John is in relationship to. Now let's move on into verse number 2. Dear friend, I hope all is well with you, and that you are as healthy in body as you are strong in the spirit. What's he saying? He's saying, hey, Gaius, this is my prayer, that you are healthy in your body, that you're as healthy in your body as you are in your spirit. You see, John knows this man's spirit. Apparently, he doesn't know his health, because he says, I hope that you are as healthy in your body as you are in your spirit. But John knows the spirit of Gaius. He knows that this man is walking in the truth. Now, how does he know that? Well, we need to go on into the next verse. And it says, some of the traveling teachers recently returned and gave me a very happy, then they made me very happy by telling me about your faithfulness and that you are living according to the truth. John not only knows Gaius, but now some men have come to John. And again, we see John as this hub for traveling teachers. And they come to John and they say, man, that Gaius, he is walking in the truth. That Gaius, he is being faithful. He's being faithful. In other words, he's hanging in there. Even though everything around them seems to be falling apart, Gaius is being solid. He's being faithful. He's not one of these guys that's just going to pick up and run when trouble comes. But Gaius is faithful. And John says, it's made me very happy to hear that you're faithful and that you are living according to the truth. Gaius is not only talking the truth, he's living the truth. And so here comes these traveling teachers. And they were traveling, and they would travel from church to church and teach. And they come into John's house and they say, John, that Gaius, oh, what a man that Gaius is. He's faithful to God. He's faithful in his ministry. But not only is he faithful in his ministry, but you know what? Gaius is walking, he's living right dead center in the middle of truth. His life is an example of what he believes. I hope that you've been blessed with this teaching. We're just getting started in 3 John. I hope that you come back again and listen as we continue to teach the Word of God.